Hello, everybody. Welcome back to How Come. This week's episode is going to be so great. We're talking about graduating and also pivotal moments in life that might need life coaching. Not necessarily the same thing. Our main guest today is Raia Carey, better known as Coach Carey. Raia is a life coach and motivational speaker. And then we are talking to our team member, Rachel Murray, who just graduated. And it is a fantastic episode that I think you guys will really like. I want to thank Dame Products. Dame's mission is cultivating pleasure to enrich well-being. For satisfaction literally guaranteed and 15% off, head to dameproducts.com/howcome. Thanks to Buffy for supporting How Come. For $20 off your first purchase of $80 or more, visit buffy.co and enter promo code HOWCOME.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna just...
This week, we are not doing a congratulations. We are doing a congratulations to the graduates of 2021 and 2020 because you guys didn't get a celebration either. Today, we're celebrating one of our team members and recent graduates, Rachel Murray. Welcome to the pod.
Ooh, thank you for having me.
Of course. We're so happy to have you on our team and happy to finally introduce you and hear your voice.
Yeah, I'm usually behind a phone or a computer or something.
She's the one who makes the stories look really pretty. If the stories are doing something good that day, blame Rachel. If they're not doing well, blame me.
I thought you were going to say blame Rob.
No. Rachel, first, congratulations.
Thank you.
You graduated like 3 days ago?
A couple of days ago, which is super exciting.
From
The University of St. Thomas in St. Paul. It's like a small private school. I'm not religious, but I ended up at a religious school. Don't know how, but
cool. I feel like graduating this year must have been so fucking weird. Last year, too.
Oh, for sure.
Tell us about that.
That was super underwhelming in a sense, but also very nice because I got to see my family for like my whole family for like the first time in a really long time.
That's
That
fun.
was super exciting. Yeah, that was super fun. So we all got like together and ate dinner and yeah, it was just really nice, but definitely not what I expected.
Was there like an in-person graduation?
Yeah, it was like divided into like 3 sections. So like all like undergraduates like either had like a 9 a.m., 1 o'clock or 5 p.m.
Graduation.
graduation.
So it was like distanced physically and time-wise.
Yeah.
I do remember at the beginning of the pandemic, like the first graduation cycle, Ben and I were at the grocery store one day and there was like a bunch of signs outside the grocery store when we were leaving that were like, congratulations. And we were like, for like buying food, like what? And it turned out that this girl who was working like the cash register had graduated and she was valedictorian and she didn't get a ceremony. So it was like,
you work so hard.
You work so hard and you don't get to do your speech.
Oh, that's rough.
So sad.
So she had all these people driving by and doing signs and stuff.
Aww.
Yeah.
I mean, I know graduation is like just the end of it, but like, how has like learning been? Did you do better or worse academically this year?
I have raging school anxiety. So I did beautifully this time versus last time. Like I got the same grades. The learning, like what I retained and like how much like effort I put into it.
Not good.
Not even close. Like,
Okay.
No. Yeah. But did great. Graduated with honors.
Oh my God. Wait, cum laude?
Magna cum laude.
Oh my God. Cum laude.
Cum laude.
I cum laude.
Nice.
I cum laude and I cum laude. I didn't even receive a diploma at my graduation. I forgot to register to graduate. They weren't going to call my name. And my dad noticed I wasn't on the list of people. And he like ran up and he was like, please, she has honors. Like she just is too dumb to register.
Oh, I love that for you.
That's amazing. I love that they still let you grad or walk and like.
Yeah, I can't. The powers of persuasion. But yeah, I have a picture of me and Charlotte holding my empty envelope.
It's amazing.
I love that.
but it's like you guys have had a very different experience than like a lot of other people matriculating.
Yeah, it was hard. Like, I feel like I really didn't learn as much as I would in like a classroom, especially because like I learned like through discussion and like hearing my peers. I had one in-person class and that it was an 8 a.m. and that was like my favorite class to go to because I got to like have discussion with people and like just like see people in person, and I'm not like distracted on my phone the whole time while I'm in class, but over
or
Zoom,
like looking into their bedrooms.
Yeah, like getting distracted by what other people are doing on the computer or whatever. Yeah, Zoom learning is not my thing, and I'm glad I only had to do it for a year and a half, and I don't know how younger kids do it because like their attention spans are even less than mine. Like, it's crazy.
All the various ages, I'm like I don't know how I would be at like I don't have the option now, but like I'm sure at some points people were like, oh my God, at home learning is just like the fucking best. And I'm sure it really, really worked for a lot of people, and probably still will work for a lot of people, which is great to have the option. But yeah, I'm sure for a lot of people it's like the social aspect, it's not just being social, it's that discussion aspect.
Yeah.
Or like I do well in class so that other people see that the teacher likes me, you know?
Me too. Teacher's pet all the way.
Yeah.
Love all. I'm close with all my professors. Like the fact that like I couldn't get to know these new professors that I had like really just bothered me. I'm like, you don't even know how amazing I am because I can't speak up all the time.
Yeah, because you have me muted.
Yeah.
I saw just like the attention thing. Like I have attention problems and I can't. And in high school, like attention problems plus crushes, like crazy. But then I saw this tweet that was like, imagine being able to see your crush's bedroom while learning. Like you'd never learn anything. Except for like, oh my God, he likes that show. Okay, I should start watching like that show.
Look at all the posters and everything and get to really know.
Just pin their videos, so that's all you're seeing. You don't see the rest of the class. You've just got your crush big on your screen.
Yeah.
Big pervert vibes.
Well,
I heard that like the host of the meeting can actually see who pins whose like screen. So like
the teachers are getting the tea first.
Yeah, literally.
Teacher.
Yeah.
Good one.
Thank you. So yeah, when did you, I mean, I guess learning started changing probably March last year, right?
Yeah. Beginning of March, like school shut down and it all just basically went online. Yeah. Campus closed down. I had 2 jobs on campus and those got shut down. And then me and my roommate actually got like a special extension to stay on campus because that's where our apartment was. It was in like an on-campus apartment. And they told everyone to like go home basically. And we were one of like the, I think, 100 people that got to stay.
That's
like,
insane.
So that was super stressful. Yeah.
Yeah, people rely on that housing, like didn't really make any other alternatives. Like I can't imagine international students who like, they were like, what?
It was crazy. I think some left as soon as possible and then some like had to stay here. And I don't think have left. Yeah. World got
whose dog is
upside
this?
down. I'm sorry. That's
not mine.
That's their dog.
So yeah, how long did you guys stay?
We moved out last June.
Okay.
So like we got to stay until like we signed a lease. Yeah, end of school year, and then we signed a new lease and got into an apartment off campus. But that was a crazy time. Moving during COVID was awful.
Yeah. And not fucking. Like not to be like, but like I feel like so much of college is fucking or like seeing other people fuck in your room, whether you want to or not. Like, and you guys were like robbed of that, like at least half of that experience.
No, and I turned 21 a month or 2 months. I'm going to give it like a month before everything hit the fan.
That's so sad.
Like, okay, not that I wasn't going out prior to that, but like the fact that like I was 21, I was ready to go out. Like I was about to like do junior year, do senior year. Like I was going to go all out. No, nothing.
Is there a child?
Yes, there is.
I can hear a very small voice. Are you babysitting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I told them, I was like, knock if you need anything, but like, don't.
Yeah. It was like senior year is supposed to be like, okay, I've done all the work, you know, like I have all my friends, you know, I don't have to make friends. I don't have to like make grades. I already fucking did it. Now I get to just like really get to know myself before like being released on the world, you know, when everybody says like the real world or whatever. Like this was supposed to be your time to like live it up.
It's crazy how like much we missed out on. And now like I drink like 2 beers and I'm like drunk because
that's
I've had no alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I'm a cheap date now. But yeah, it's funny because I actually met my boyfriend.
I hate that phrase, cheap date. Can I just say that? Like, yeah,
True.
You're cheap for somebody else to try to get you fucked up, but like I'm more cheap for myself. Like if I take a weed break, it's like Remy has to spend less money now.
Exactly. But it's interesting because I met my boyfriend during like the end of COVID. And so I kind of like, it's kind of like I had like the opposite experience. Like usually in college, like you're out like doing your thing, whatever. But then we were together all the time because it's COVID and you can't do anything else. So it's been nice. That's been a different experience. We like to say we have a unique relationship, which is kind of funny, but.
Have you always boyfriended?
No.
I had my first boyfriend senior year of college.
Yeah, this is like my first like real boyfriend.
Cool.
So yeah.
Cool. I love that. No, because when you were like, oh, you're like supposed to be like going crazy and stuff, and I'm like, I wifed up my second semester senior year.
Yeah, I did the crazy thing like the first 3 years. So like I was good. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh my God. That actually makes me really happy that you got your hoe phase out there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We did it all. We got it out of our system. Yeah.
Good. I'm so glad. And like, just so everybody knows, a hoe phase is not just reserved for college. People hoe phase throughout their entire lives. Divorce is very common. Sometimes people seem to just get married for fun these days. Like you might be 30 hoeing, you might be 40 hoeing, you might be 50, 60. What was that woman that we had on from Ashley Madison?
Oh, Bobby.
She's like 70. Bobby, hoeing so hard. So if you didn't get it in college, like, don't worry. Anytime's
a good time.
Is he in school too, or was he?
No, he's older.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a couple of years older. So he was working and stuff. But.
He's already real worlding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not like you both lost that. I mean, I think not that everybody's going to be able to at all, like, because this year has been so tough financially, but like, I think people who did miss out on getting to have a lot of fun should like give themselves a little more leeway to have some more fun.
Yeah, that'd be super nice. It's just like so hard because like you have all these like new stressors of like going into the real world while also trying to give yourself that like extra comfort of like, here's some extra time or extra money or something, go to like do something fun that like you didn't get to do. So hard right now. And like jobs right now, I've been applying for like months for like anything, and like I'm lucky if I hear back a rejection. But like I'm also a nanny, which is something that I love to do, and like so that's like something I always have as a backup because I've been doing it for so long. But yeah, like real world job, I have no idea what I'm gonna do or where I'm gonna end up.
Nannying is a real world job.
Yeah, it is.
There are so many moms who are like, I've been with this fucking psycho all year, please hang out with him, you know? So like whether it is your career or not, you know, it is a really good starting off point to A, make money, B, really contribute, you know, like you're taking care of our new people that are coming up, and if you treat them nicely, then that's so great. And then also, I think one of the good advice I got when I was interning at this place, renttherunway.com, was like, just start somewhere, you know, like just do something, because a lot of the times, like, I know now a lot of the jobs that people have didn't exist when I was growing up. So it wasn't like, oh, try to get a certain job. It was like, try to work in a field or try to work with something with a goal that you like. Like the fact that like you're doing this with us is really amazing.
Yeah, like sex education and like female empowerment is something I've always been passionate about. And then I also love helping people and I love doing social media. I love both of those things. So like, yeah, it's just really hard when people are always like, what are you doing next? I'm like, well, I might not be doing something that I like majored in, but like I'm doing something.
There's a job probably being created today that didn't exist yesterday. And also, people are creating their own jobs these days.
That's what I was going to say. That's what Gen Z's mantra is. If there's not a job you want, make it.
Again, that's like very easy to say for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, try to make money, but also do something that like doesn't suck your soul every day.
Yeah, like that's something I don't want to do at all, is like just like sit at a desk and like hate my life.
Also, like whatever, not to get into a whole jobs conversation, but there's a lot of jobs that aren't desk. Like when I was doing real estate, every other day I would get super high and then just go look at houses, photograph houses, and then put them online. And then the off days I would take clients out and be professional. But like you don't necessarily have to be in an office.
That's true.
Yeah.
Building, that's a job where you don't sit down at all.
That is, but it is also soul sucking.
And very demanding.
Yes. And it's a boys' club.
Rachel, we know that the dog is barking.
But thanks.
I mean, I feel bad for our grads this year. I want to have some kind of like party for them or something where like you guys can like play all the music from this year and like dance and hook up.
Well, the TikTok dances.
Just like, yeah, like it's interesting in a way that like you all went through it together, but apart.
Yeah. This is going to be studied. Like the sociology of this is going to be studied for so long.
Yeah.
We lived through crazy stuff.
We didn't look this up and we probably should have, but not to get too dark or maybe light, but I feel like a lot less campus assault happened this year because of lockdown, I can imagine.
I would hope so. I think so.
Yep. I just remember not in colleges specifically. I remember at the beginning of the year being like, oh yeah, like less assault is happening.
I think it's got to, because I think we used to get like emails about it, honestly, which is like terrible. But like we used to get emails about it. I don't think we've gotten an email about that. And St.
School
Thomas
shootings.
has not school shootings. We also last year or 2 years ago, and now I think we had a bunch of bomb threats at our school. I'm now desensitized to bomb threats because we had like 3 within like a couple months, which was insane. But also hate crimes. Yeah those are the things that like I notice as the world is coming back. It's like, okay, school shootings are up again, and it's like, well, fuck, we really can't have anything nice. For real. Yeah.
This dog, what is the dog's name?
Is it a cute dog at least?
Jackson. Okay, throw a picture of Jackson in the Discord so that everyone forgives him. If you haven't checked out the Pets Discord, pets.com, it's the cutest channel. It's our most consistent, I think.
Yeah.
I think it is.
What else about college? I mean, what do you feel like you missed out on the most, or is there anything that you wish you could redo?
Having my friend group at the end, like just like being able to like not just be with my roommates, love them to death, but like just like have everybody and be able to go out and just have a good time instead of being cooped up all the time. I think that's just basically what everyone else missed out on.
And meeting new people. Like you're supposed to be making friends that you'll never see again. You know, just having weird nights that like, and stories, you know, like you guys didn't even get spring breaks. Neither did I, because my parents fucking suck. But like,
oh yeah, I went on this huge 2-week solo trip to Costa Rica, like a month before COVID, and I'm so glad I did. Like
so
it was
lucky.
I couldn't have planned it more perfectly because like I got that out of the way and I had like one last big trip. But yeah, so I'm really thankful that I got to do that before everything happened.
Also, shout out to Rachel's earrings. You can't see this if you're not listening on Patreon, but they look like lightning bolts. And that reminds me to charge your toys, everybody. If you haven't, put some electricity into those things so that you can be happy for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
Rachel, is there anything else you want to say?
No, just congrats to class of 2021, high schoolers, college, graduate school. Good job, guys.
I
We
hope you
made
guys are
it.
getting celebrated in some way. Maybe, I don't know if we'll actually do this, but maybe we could set up some kind of forum or whatever for graduates or whatever if we wanted, I don't know, them to have like just like some little time on any stage where we could like applaud for them.
We can do that in the
Read them
Discord.
off.
Maybe in the Discord, yeah.
Because we
I
can,
know
yeah, we
people
can create
people
That's a good idea.
suggested it in the Discord that they were like, we should do a congrats.
Yeah, we can do it there.
I'm gonna go to the costume store and buy a graduation cap.
Oh my
Did you get a cap and gown or no?
Yeah, we got
Okay.
like all the.
Oh, right, because you did it
regalia.
in person.
Yeah, we
and-
did the walk. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, then that's nice that wasn't
Yeah, you
taken
gotta
away.
walk.
Yeah. Like
gotta
that
walk.
wasn't. Yeah, exactly.
Sissy, that walk. That's for our Drag Race fans. Also, if you guys notice that every congratulations that we put on our story, we do congratulations, but congratulation was the first pun of this type. And I have it on record. I made an album my graduating year of high school called Congratulation, and it all comes full circle.
It does. It does.
Rachel, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence today and always as our social media leader. You are so fantastic, and we're so lucky to have you. I just have to ask you one question, and I think you know what's coming. Rachel Murray, did you finish?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course. See you soon.
Bye.
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 Bye, Rob.
Bye.
Okay, so love Rachel. I love all of you who have recently graduated. Just congrats again. Congrats, however you slice it. And not everybody can take a gap year, but we can all work together to close the pleasure gap, I think. And Dame Products is a women-founded company based in Brooklyn making toys for sex that close that pleasure gap. They are developed and tested by real people with vulvas. They're engineered to bring your solo and couple play to new heights. And I just love Dame so much. Ever since we had their founder, Alex Fine, on to talk about them suing the MTA, I've been in love with Dame. The Arc is an awesome G-spot vibrator that helps you discover your perfect spot. Highly recommend this for people. The shape is so good. Most people, they don't know where their G-spot is. And then this product, it tells you. The Eva 2 is also the Dame classic toy that everybody should know about. No hands, no hassle vibration. It is a little like ladybug shaped looking vibrator that just stays up and you just need one hand to keep it secure. Partners are optional. You could have a penis in you. You could also have an arc in you at the same time. Like, so many people have been mixing it up with multiple toys, and I think that does just the trick to close that gap. I love the Arc. One of my favorites is also the Kip. Kip is this nice little flat vibrator, which is ideal for me. I have a teeny tiny button, and she needs to be covered all at once when it comes to vibration. So I like stuff that's flat, and Kip's for me. And they have so many other products. They've got the Palm, which is a flexible vibrator that bends to your needs. It can cover solid vulva real estate. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm sure that it would work out. That sounds like it would be for me. And yeah, if any of these sounds like they might be for you, with Dame, your satisfaction is literally guaranteed. So for 15% off your first order, go to dameproducts.com/howcome. Again, that is Dame, DAME, products.com/howcome. Try their stuff out. It's fantastic. Ooh, also, if you don't have a comfortable place to get deeper and down, or maybe just snuggle down, snuggle in, feel good, feel cozy, Buffy makes the coolest, softest, and earth-friendliest sheets on the planet. Buffy sheets are extra soft, they get creamier and dreamier with each wash, and they are better for the planet. Their earth-friendly materials and dyes mean you can rest easy knowing your booty is wrapped up in only good-for-you stuff. The best way to enjoy my Buffy sheets, I think, is in the buff. I like to be nude. I like to have my sheets up against my skin. And I would love you to join the Sleep Naked Challenge. Ditch those jammies and slip into Buffy sheets for 7 days. If it doesn't change your life, well, that's impossible because it's changing mine. And this isn't just like a sexy Instagram challenge. Multiple studies support that sleeping naked promotes better sleep quality, helps you fall asleep faster, makes for a cooler night's sleep. And Buffy says it feels 210% better than sleeping in PJs. And I agree. Also, less laundry to do. I love my Buffy sheets. I got light blue ones. They are so soft. I have been so naked, so incredibly naked. It was especially amazing because the first week that we got them, Ben's parents, Ray and Jane, were out of town. And so we got to walk around the house naked like the whole time, sleep naked. We had this like bed that we put up in the living room. It was like an inflatable mattress. So we had one bed upstairs and then the living room bed, and living room bed was covered in the Buffy sheets. And every night I would fall asleep in living room bed, and Ben would be like, okay, it's time to go to bed. And I'd be like, okay. And then like he'd come back like 2 hours later and be like, it's time to go to bed. And I'd be like, okay. And then like 2 hours later. Anyway, long story short, I wouldn't leave living room bed because I loved it so much and I was so comfortable. And I was naked. And who needs the neighbor seeing me at 5 a.m. walking back upstairs? Not me. Maybe the neighbor if he was in the mood, but no, not me. But I love these sheets. I think they're so great, and they really are good for the planet. So if your sheets are, I don't know, scratchy, or like you sweat when you sleep in them, or like it's just time for a change, try out Buffy. They offer free shipping and free returns, so why not try it? Get your jammies off and jump in. Try for 7 nights, and if you're not in love with your new bedding, Buffy will take it back. I think that's amazing. So for $20 off your first purchase of $80 or more, visit buffy.co and enter promo code HOWCOME. That's buffy.co, promo code HOWCOME for $20 off. And your pajamas off. Okay, done with the puns. Did you notice that I had like 19,000 with Rachel? I always feel like I need to like delight the team with puns, and I'm like pretty sure they're just laughing to like gas me up. But this second half is less pun heavy, more life coaching heavy. We are talking to Raia Carey, better known as Coach Carey, a life coach and motivational speaker, and she is so great. You guys are going to love her. Hello!
Woohoo! Let's get her going! What's up, girl?
I'm so excited to see you. This is so fun.
I know. I'm like, wow, the full circle moments are the best.
I know. Raia, when was the last time we saw each other? Like, we met 10 years ago, I feel.
In Montreal, but it was the best weekend ever, and we just connected on such a positive vibe, and it's like we're in. And then just seeing your growth, your journey, and I was like, I just got to support you in any way I can. Hit you with the comments, the likes. I got you.
That means a lot to me. It really does. And so I want to talk about your journey. Back when we met, you were not doing what you're doing now. You are now life coaching.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. How did you get into that? Like, what is life coaching for people who don't know about it?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. It was a good transition and pivot for me because I was in events for about 10 years, but I was always kind of that white knight, if you will, whereas I wasn't backstabbing people, wasn't hurting people, didn't really drink, never really did drugs. So I was always like a person of my word. But then I started to feel really unfulfilled, being like, wow, everyone's obnoxious, everyone's drunk.
In nightlife? No way.
Shocker, right?
Yeah, I met you in the club.
in the club. Well, with friends. We had
No. With friends, definitely through friends, but also like these were the days that I was clubbing as well.
And it was F1 weekend in Montreal. And
yeah, Grand Prix. It was crazy. We were smoking hash.
Yeah, we were. The best. It was like, who's smoking in a corner? Me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Oh, the club's getting too aggressive. I'm going to be over here in the corner.
Yeah.
You know, but I majored in psych at Concordia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how can I maybe put this to, use in some way? Felt didn't resonate for me, the industry itself. I didn't see myself represented there. So then I did events, I kept doing events, and then I heard about coaching, and I was like, whoa, that sounds like me, and it's connecting all the dots throughout my life. And so that was almost 8 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And coaching in a way is very much sort of bridging the gap between psychology over here, therapy over here,
Mm-hmm.
or psychiatry over here, and coaching in the middle. So kind of can bridge the gap or be the pathway in between. A lot of my clients have therapists or have psychiatrists, and that's great. Therapy, I feel like, can be very much for healing.
Mm-hmm.
Can't move forward unless you've healed, right? And then psychology, psychiatry is very much cognitively, how does your brain work? And coaching is all about moving you forward, moving you from where you currently are to where you would like to go by asking you the right questions, so you come up with it on your own in a way. So really my job is to ask the right questions and kind of like reframe things.
Oh, interesting.
Not give advice. A lot of people, there's a big misconception. They think life coaches give advice. And I'm like, actually a certified life coach who actually did the work. We don't give advice.
Yeah, what I was thinking is that it would be like more of a person that's like the day-to-day, like, hey, like they give you like a structure or something.
I mean, in some ways, like goal setting for sure. But again, not up for me to tell that person what to do. It's like, okay, what is it that you want to do? Great. How can you make one step towards that in the next week?
Mm-hmm.
And then that person goes, oh, I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Update me. Everything is on them in a way.
Yeah. So where are people usually in their lives when they come to you?
I would say pivotal. And they're
pivotal moments.
Yeah. And unfulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are, okay, I kind of am successful. I have the job or the partner or the career, but I don't feel it here. I don't have that oomph inside me. And for the most part, and that's kind of what my niche
Stella
became.
doesn't have her groove anymore.
No, Stella Sans groove.
Stella Sans groove. Yeah, that's where people are.
100%. And usually it's shifting language. It's about looking at things objectively and helping that person kind of shift, reframe, reconfigure what it is they want, and then how to get there. So I love it. It's so... it gets me fired up, as you can tell.
So would you say, because we just talked to one of our team members who just graduated from college, do you think like graduating from college is a pivotal moment, or it's like more of a moment that like comes from within?
I think it's more from within.
Okay.
Yeah. It could be for anything, but I think that's more of the place where they just feel like, I'm feeling stuck in a way and I don't know how to move out of it, whether they're successful or not.
Okay. And what are usually like the first questions that you ask when they enter the room?
I usually ask 2 questions. Usually I'll do like a coaching questionnaire and things like that. But I would say the top 2 questions I ask is, tell me one thing you're proud of and one thing you feel as though you can improve upon.
Ooh.
And from there I get so much what they're proud of. Okay, I see them shine. I see how they decide how to talk about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a lot of shoulds, woulds, coulds, I know confidence is low.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then on the what is one thing you feel as we can improve upon, that's usually where I can just expand that into, okay, that's where we're going to work on.
And that like starts to like expand into fantasy too.
Totally.
Of like, oh, like it's not just like I could improve upon being more organized. It's like in kind of my wildest dreams, I'd love to be organized.
Yeah. Like what would the perfect day look like in a way? And then people can get into that fantasy and then there's no limiting beliefs or blocks. I was like, okay, well, that's not as far as you think it is.
Mm-hmm. I love when Robin like nods along with me. Like I feel like I'm really smart right now because a lot of times she's got different nods. There's Remy, just shut up, wrap it up nod, and then this one is like Remy's on today. Okay,
I like it. No, I'm feeling the nods too. I'm just like maybe I'm crushing it right now. Yeah.
You are crushing it. Sorry that I scared you, Grace. That was just this not aesthetically pleasing
For
to
sure.
me.
No,
And now
I support you.
in my wildest dreams, I would like a studio, you know?
Yeah. One day. Working towards
One
it.
day. Yeah.
We're getting there. Yeah.
Do you find that like that's a big part of it, is some people like admitting what those wildest dreams are, or even like accepting
Yeah.
that
Some people
they could have that?
for sure. Some people can't even fathom it. So it takes a lot of time for them to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really magical. And I think that's where it comes to a bit of a goal setting as well. Because it's like we all have these big goals. And then the moment we don't make it in one day, we're discouraged. We're like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, let's take that goal, maybe break it down to bite-sized pieces, crush a couple of them. And then all of a sudden you're in momentum and you feel like you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I see my clients no longer need me. And for me, that is the biggest fulfillment.
See, I was going to joke at the beginning that when you were like, ooh, you say would, should, like, I know that there's no confidence. I know that this person can keep paying me week after week.
For sure. But it wouldn't, it doesn't align for me.
No,
yeah. I'm sure there's some people in this realm who could be like that for sure. But for me, I'm like, you don't need me anymore. That is the biggest reward you could ever give me.
Mm-hmm. I texted my mom the other day. I was like, when I was out of town, I was like, I think Grace is happy without me, like my cat. And she was like, that is why we raise children, to be independent. You know, same with life coaching people.
It's so true. It's so true. And I think that everyone has something they're working on. So for me, it doesn't necessarily matter it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, anything else. It just matters what's going on in here and how can I support you.
Was there a hurdle that you had to get over, like, of how I can believe I can be a life coach? You know, like what made you think that that was possible?
Well, I think really when I looked at, almost finishing my psychology major and being like, I'm not represented anywhere. I've not seen one queer person of color in that realm at all. And so it didn't feel like I would be seen and heard there. And then if I don't feel seen and heard, how am I going to make my clients
Other
feel seen and
people?
heard?
Yeah.
Right. So I think the hurdle was, is this something that people are going to take seriously? Is this something that has enough merit? It was still very taboo then. But then I saw what it did for people. I saw in my training, I saw the magic, I saw the aha moments, I saw how many people I've helped. And I think there's a little bit of that imposter syndrome that comes into it. Like, who am I? I used to throw parties.
Who am I to, yeah.
But I think I've always been honest with who I am. The person you met 10 years ago, in a way, is still this person. I've evolved, I've grown up, I've matured, I've learned, loved, lost, but my energy, my integrity has always been the same. So for me, it was always, how can I be my best to be the best for others, especially people that are underrepresented.
And you know that within yourself, that you're like, I am at the end of the day an honest person, and I know that I have people's best interest in mind. For sure. And integrity is really about, it's really about who are you when no one's looking and no one's in the room. Are there any certifications you have to get to life coach? Like, I mean, it's a certification. So it's not, a degree. I think at some point it probably will be, but still enough merit that there is an ICF, an International Coaching Federation, which would kind of be like the equivalent of the bar. Schools have to be accredited by some barrier to entry. You don't want any person to be able to life coach, because that, I feel like, could lead very quickly to like cults.
For sure. And there's a lot of people who are just saying they're a coach now. The industry has become oversaturated, and can harm people. So I always say, listen, if people are gonna just communicate, tell people what you are and who you are, and let them decide if they want to still work with you. Some people will still work with you if you're not certified. Yeah. Right? But
get it on the cheap.
Right? But be honest, communicate.
Sure.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. How long does that take? How long did your certification take?
Takes about a year.
Cool.
Takes about a year. Yeah.
Cool.
And in that realm, I didn't really see myself represented at all
I can
either,
imagine. Yeah.
you know? So I really,
Yeah.
I was like the only one,
Mhm.
queer, Black. And I was like, cool, I know I'm going to make a difference and show up, because I wish there had been that sort of representation and leadership when I was growing up. You know, in grade 4, I told my parents I was a hybrid. And they were like, what does that mean? And I was like, well,
What does that mean?
right. So in grade 4, this was my explanation, because there wasn't a lot of language or tools or resources available. This is in like 1990. Gay was then still.
Right. Yeah.
So I told my parents, yeah, I'm a hybrid. And they were like, well, what does that mean? And I said, it means I don't want to do ballet anymore, and I want to dress like a boy. They were like, okay. And I'm really grateful and fortunate that my parents were supportive, because so many others don't have that support.
Totally.
I was able to figure out who I am. So for me, hybrid means 50-50 blend of my masculine and feminine, and calling them in. Some days I'm more feminine, some days I'm more masculine, and
Fluid.
I love that about me.
Yeah.
Fully fluid. But those words weren't available then. So I just
Right.
made my own.
No, I mean, I personally have been so released by the word fluid, because I feel, you know, my pronouns are she, they. I can lean into however I'm feeling on a given day, which is such a nice release. And I know that, like you said, you do that too. And that I feel like for such a long time that there were these labels like tomboy or whatever that still I'll hear people throw around, and I'm like, we have other words for that now. Maybe you're in your masculine right now, but that doesn't make you a boy.
Right. And I started to really dive deeper into that and learn more. And I was like, masculinity and femininity literally do not belong to any one gender. They're all traits that live within all humans. Super simple. So I love that. I love being able to call into both and just be however I want to be, however that may show up.
Do you know that Instagram just added pronouns to bios?
I saw that, but they won't let me put hybrid.
They won't let. See, they have. You can put
they, them.
You can put up to 4 different pronouns, I think.
Only pre-approved ones.
But only
you can write to them. They have a form, and you can be like, I have these my pronouns.
Robin, I'm gonna hot with the suggestion. I'm gonna do that, because
that's why we keep a little Gen Z.
We need you around always. I was wondering, because I listened to your podcast where you actually, for the first time, had said your pronoun is they.
She, they, but yeah.
She, they, that you were calling in they as well. And I was like, first of all, I'm so proud of you, love you, support you, see you. Second, I was like, what does they and them mean to you? Because I think it also could mean different things to different people. For me, they and them sometimes feels like I'm removing myself from gender, whereas hybrid for me feels like I'm calling them both in. So I was so curious what they, them meant for you.
I love that. I think it is different on a given day.
Yeah.
So I think one of my theys is nothing. I don't want to even be perceived as anything.
Right. Just a human.
Yeah. And this doesn't even have to do with dress or anything. It's just a feeling based on the day.
So you're really fluid between the
I'm just
she
super
and the
fluid.
they. Yeah.
I think.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I love that we're at this time in the world where these conversations can actually be had in a safe and supported place for a lot of people. Still, I'm sure there's some places and some people who don't feel comfortable or not supported, but I think slowly but surely more and more, especially than younger generation. You know, I've had grade 4s come up to me and be like, I'm trans. And I'm like, cool, what's your name? Yay. And I was like, wow, that's so awesome. So I'm like, okay, maybe we're doing something right.
Totally. Yeah. No, it's interesting because there was like this moment when I was like, oh, should I put them in my bio? Will this make people see me differently or dislike me or whatever? And then just going back to what you said at the top, it's like, well, if you don't want to work with me anymore based on this, or you don't want to follow me anymore based on this, then like, that's kind of on you, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that creates more room for me to have more community within the people who are following me, because they actually are engaged and aligned with who I am. Like,
and it's a nice thing to do. Like, if I'm already telling you my pronouns, you don't have to ask. You know, sometimes
there it is. Boom.
Right?
Yeah. Because so many times, especially when I was heavier, and probably even like Montreal was heavier than I am now, but even before then, so I just naturally only had the option of wearing men's clothes. There's only sizes that fit me, and then I'd wear like a hat boom, people would automatically assume I'm a man, and they'd be like, "What can I get you, sir?" And then I'd respond, they'd be like, "Oh, sorry, you a girl or a boy?" And I'd be like, that is such a strange question to ask somebody. But I tried to never get mad and just use that as an opportunity to learn.
What are your pronouns?
Yeah, so I usually say she, her, hybrid.
Cool.
Because some people don't understand when I say hybrid. So I'm like, hey, if we're just meeting she, her, we get to know each other more. I'll explain hybrid to you. Because then when I explain it, people are like, oh no, that is so you. Especially women I've dated, they're like, okay, if I'm emotional and I haven't moved through it, I'm a dick. For some people who are masculine, it's like they were always taught to not talk about their feelings. And in some way that still trickles into my conditioning, because I was mostly friends with all male identifying people until like my late teens. So I was like, whoa, why am I being a dick? I'm never a dick. Just being short and like passive aggressive and you know, and I was like, oh, it's because I'm actually sad that I didn't get to see you. Whoa.
Yeah.
What? You know? But
I have that in me too. I have a real mean streak when I'm hurt.
Right. It happens to the best of us.
It does. But it's a great thing to recognize instead of just like, you know, and if you can say, oh, maybe it is your masculine side or whatever, like,
yeah,
that actually, that feels better.
Never malicious, you know,
right.
Never, that's okay. But it's, you know, short, passive aggressive, I'm in a argument with someone I'm dating, like that's normal.
Or just bottling up instead of effuting.
There it is.
Crying. Were you always out about sexuality? Like, did you know as early, not as four, like as you did with your gender?
I don't think I necessarily knew what sexuality meant, but I knew that the boys were supposed to like girls and the girls were supposed to like boys. And I was like, I'm a girl who likes girls. But I didn't know what like meant. I didn't know that necessarily meant sexual, but I just felt butterflies or excited or want to impress a girl, or
it means more when they like me.
Yeah. You know? And then that slowly starts to shift when everyone starts to date and puberty. And I remember being like, yeah, I don't know if I'm into this. Like, I love being friends with the guys, but I was like, I'm not interested in that way.
Yeah.
And then I kissed my first girl in grade 10, and I remember it being like fireworks. I'm like, yes, okay, this makes perfect sense. I knew it. Yeah. And she was like the hottest girl in school. And all the guys loved her, and I just remember being like, oh, okay.
Raia.
I'll never forget it.
Wait, this might not make it in, but do you remember in Montreal when you said to one of my friends, you go, that one at me, you go, I bet I could flip her. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know if it's really flipping.
I mean,
if the girl's bi and just hasn't come out yet.
True. I guess catalyst.
Yeah.
Let's spark what's already there. Man, I thought that was for so long, especially like, you know, let's say 17 to 24, 25. I thought that was the best. I thought that was epic. I thought I was the first girl she's ever been with, and that means there's something special about me. And I turned her, and and 26, I'm crying, and I'm like, why does nobody want to see a life with me? Why are these progressing?
Because you're everyone's first girlfriend.
Duh. So painful. And I did not think of that in that time. And now I'm like, whoa, I won't even date someone who's not 100% queer. For me,
it's interesting because it like, I feel like the narrative with like people who quote unquote want to flip people or whatever, it like has taken on this like sinister thing of like, oh, they go after straight people or whatever, when I think it's coming from a place of we grew up in very heteronormative, that like the best thing you could get was a straight person, whether it was to get the straight person to do gay stuff, you know, but then also that is hurtful to the people who are doing the flipping, because it's like this cycle of unrequited love. Like I remember I have a friend who like he would only ever hook up with straight guys, quote, you know, or people in relationships, you know, and it was always, can I get the unavailable person? And it's like, that's not good for anyone's psyche.
No. And then it's like, I caught feelings. This person never wants to would be with me. Why did I do this to myself? And I think in some ways in the next generation, it's also gone a little bit toxic, and there is still some levels of toxic masculinity within the queer community, especially with
100%.
masculine representing women.
Mm.
So I was like, the moment I recognized I did this to myself, I was like, whoa, there's something we need to talk about. And I really wanted to find more masculine women to be friends with, because I didn't have any.
Yeah.
I didn't have any like bros. I only had like men as friends. And I was like, whoa, I don't fully align with you either.
Yeah. And had you had like respect for masculine women as well? Like, were you like seeking them out? 'Cause I don't know. I can imagine being like, no, I only want to be friends with dudes and hot girls.
I think at first, probably when I was in that phase, you know, that 17 to 25. But then the moment I started to reflect and, you know, at some point you have to understand what is it that I did? What's the role that I played in this situation, right? You can't keep blaming everybody else. Then I was like, whoa, okay, I need to be around people who are similar to me. And then I started to hang out with more, you know, hybrids or boys with an I. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like we get it. This is so much more fun. I play on an all women's basketball team. So there's a lot of masculine, feminine, etc. Women identifying people. And I was like, this is so cool. I felt so much more seen and heard. And because a lot of the guy friends I had at the time were probably also some low key toxic and cared more about cheating on girls and this and that never aligned with me.
Yeah, you're like, I have to keep your secrets that I don't agree with.
I don't want your secrets. Yeah, or like
I respect those people.
Right? Or like
Fuck
not being safe with sex and things like that. And I'm like, whoa, that doesn't align with me at all.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, we should be safe always.
Yeah. I saw, this is not to say that everybody should hang out like with like. It's just like sometimes you want to find some people that like are in your community, but also so that you can respect them and be like, I value them as much as I value my friendships with. I saw a tweet today that was like, hey, if you're a trans man and you still identify as a lesbian, would love to hear from you or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know about that community. But I love that can exist for people who want to find friends and like-minded people. Because at the end of the day, it's like we were saying, like a they to someone could mean a totally different thing to another person. It could also mean a totally different thing on a different day.
Exactly.
But it's nice to have space for those combos.
Agreed. And I think more of these conversations should be being had. But one beautiful thing that came out of me wanting to be connected more with hybrid type women and move away from toxic men is that then I started to call in awakened men.
Ooh.
Now my friendships with men are like the opposite of me. They're like in touch with their feminine side, can talk about their feelings. We snuggle. We can hold hands. We can learn and grow together. And I'm like, and I call them my lions. Because to me, that is what a lion is, someone who is a leader and can support other people while supporting themselves. And so being around those type of men, I was like, whoa, this is what I should feel like. This is awesome. So shout out to all the awakened men out there.
Yeah, they really are something special because they could have gone the other way.
Exactly.
We love to see them.
We love to see it. We encourage everyone to talk about their feelings, but it's just extra nice when it's, especially someone unexpected. There's one guy I met a few years ago at a retreat, and he was like the typical hot guy, jock, this and that. And I was like, I don't know if we'll get along, but he seems like he could be cool. And I didn't end up getting a chance to hang out with him for most of the weekend, except for the final day. And I was smoking a joint, and he walks by and he goes, is that some? And I go,
wink, wink.
Yeah. And he goes, can we share? And I go, we can share. So then we hung out, and I'm like, did we just become best friends? 3 years later.
This is always how it happens.
We spend all the time together, you know. And he's like 6'2", tall, dark, handsome, abs, but just like we meditate and hug. I'm like, this is so great. I wish more men could have role models.
Yeah.
And the hybrid lesbians too, like all of us.
Yeah. What's interesting too is I feel like I've met a lot of awakened men who also went through a a portion of time where they were just friends with a bunch of other toxic people.
Well, yeah.
And they started absorbing those things, even though that's not true to who they were. And it's like nice to see those things like be let go.
Yeah. And I imagine that might be even more difficult for someone who identifies as a man and is friends with toxic men, because you get conditioned to assume and think that that's how you should be too.
Yeah.
And I feel like I almost was a victim of that too. You're thinking, women this, bitches. And it's like, that is not cool at all.
It's not.
Right?
It's not cool. It's not cute. We're not here for it.
We're not doing it. It's not 2021. It's been a weird year. We don't need any more of that.
No. I did want to get back to pronouns for a second, because Robin had brought up to me that she saw something on Instagram, like right when they made it available to put pronouns in your bio, that, I don't know, some infographic from someone being like, cis people shouldn't put their pronouns in their bio. And this is because it's taking away from trans people. I mean, I know my opinion on this. What's your opinion on that little stance?
Wow, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that, but oh wow. I'm surprised to hear that, to be honest with you. I can mildly understand perhaps where they're coming from, but I'm thinking that mindset is the same mindset that got us here.
Right.
And could potentially further perpetuate othering and you over here and you not here. It doesn't feel inclusive. And I think the idea is because there could be someone who's completely heterosexual, cisgendered, and could look more feminine, or someone could think they're a woman, or like I was full cis woman. People thought I was a guy all the time. So I think that everyone putting their pronouns allows for to take the assumptions out and to everyone to be more inclusive and on the same page.
I agree. I also think, I don't necessarily think the person who wrote this post was trans. I think it might have been a cis person trying to,
one of those,
like trying to be better, or trying not to take what was the word that you used, Robin? Trying to take the attention. Yeah, trying to take away from trans people, or trying to take the attention from other people. Like, I understand maybe if it's like, oh, you don't want to steal a struggle. But if there's only trans people putting their pronouns in their bios, then isn't basically putting your pronouns in your bio just disclosure? Like,
yeah, and if it's only trans...
that makes me feel like trans people have to disclose or whatever, whereas this is a sharing of pronouns saying she, her is a she, her, she, her is a she, her, she, her is a she, her, she, they is a she, they. Yeah. And it doesn't mean if somebody has a she, her, she's got a dick, beware. You know, like that's how I took
for
that.
Sure. And if every trans person has to put their pronouns, then we're continuing to other them.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah. No, I think it's really nice.
I think we're on the same page about that.
No, I know that I think I initially thought that in the beginning when I first saw people putting them in their Twitter bios or whatever, like really early at the beginning of like the gender conversation in our lifetime.
For sure.
And I was like, ugh, you're just trying to get attention, or take, you know, like I remember having that thought. But then you go through the process of being like, no, that's supportive, it seems.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes people not feel like they're alone standing on an island with their pronouns in their bio.
And removes a guessing game just in case too. And I think even for myself, I didn't put my pronouns in for a long time because I was like, my sexuality, my gender, my identity has nothing to do with my work.
Right.
I've never been the person that's like, here's my rainbow, here's me, just so everyone knows I'm queer. It's like, no, it is me. I've been this way since I was born. But same as you, when I started to say, okay, I want to make sure that I can be as inclusive as possible. And I don't want people who already have had such a tough time to be recognized to feel othered. So let me make sure that I'm being as inclusive as possible by putting my pronouns.
And also then you don't have to come out every day and to everyone.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
I still get some DMs that are like, are you a dude? Or are you a girl?
Right. Like,
I'm like, delete. Don't have the energy.
I want to be like, why do you need to know this? Like, how does this information help you?
And what's a dude?
And what's a dude?
Right? A dude could be any gender, my friend.
Yeah, if you're asking respectfully, I mean, maybe these people are trying to ask for pronouns in a very disrespectful way. Just for those people, you're doing it wrong. You know, don't slide into someone's DMs and say, "Are you a dude?" If you're sliding into anyone's DMs,
be polite, be respectful,
be polite.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes the right time to ask about the gender, I don't know. Maybe you two are considering fucking each other. Like, otherwise, I don't know why you need to know. But then maybe ask, hey, doll, what are your pronouns?
Yeah. Hey, these are the pronouns that I go by. I want to make sure that I'm, you know, being as respectful and inclusive as possible. What are yours if they're not there? People. Yeah. Super simple. Super simple.
Have you always been sexually close with yourself? Have you been able to get off your whole life?
Yeah.
I see that for you. That's why I asked the question that way.
I love it. I love us. Yeah, I think this is good. I think it started with, like, you know, humping the pillow, you know, like grade 4 or 5 kind of vibe. And then
grade
vibrators.
4 or 5 is a year younger than our 5th grade, right?
Oh, right.
Or are we the same age?
Okay, I'm thinking like 11 or 12, so maybe grade 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was thinking 9 or 10 as well.
Okay. I'm thinking like
in Canada they do like this extra year of school, and then
I don't think we do that anymore.
Junior college, and you never know how old they are.
Stop hating on the Canadians. Okay?
Oh, I love it. All of my friends in my grade, like,
literally
were older than me. I was like,
you're like a low-key Canadian. You spend some time.
Somebody, Sammy, you guys know Sammy from Betches Love This. Sammy has spent the last 10 years thinking I'm Canadian.
I love this.
Because she knows Richard.
I love this.
Yeah.
So like I would say like 11, 12. And then once I could start doing it myself a little bit, and like then vibrators came a thing, and I was like, that was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think with myself.
Who'd you go get your first vibrator with?
By myself. Oh yeah.
Oh, alone. Cute.
Yeah. I remember I like got a hotel. It was with the girl I was seeing.
All the hybrids who independent, throw your hands up in the air.
Cheese, 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 cheese.
Throw your hands down in your pants.
Yeah, right? And there was a sex shop across the street from the hotel because I was 18, so I could book a hotel now. I didn't have to go to my parents' house, you know?
Yes.
Got my first vibrator, and I was just like, bless.
Amazing.
You know? And then with other people, I'm a Virgo, so I'm very like concrete, grounded. I take my time. So I've never had a one-night stand. I've never had sex with someone I haven't been dating. I just can't do it. I think there's a word for it now. I think it's called demisexual, where you have to have an emotional connection with someone to be able to do that.
It me. Oh my God.
It
Virgo.
It Virgo. Are you a Virgo too?
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I can't wait to start sharing all the Virgo memes with you, because that's what I do with all my Virgo friends. I'm like, is this us? Is this true?
We used to do this a few years ago. We used to do Virgo. We already knew. Yeah.
Okay. I'm bringing it back. Do you
want to hear something cute? Ben, my boyfriend, just went on this like little bachelor weekend or whatever, and he saw like a lot of old college friends that like haven't seen since 10 years. And he was like, he got home and he was like, so nice seeing like a really good old friend is like you could just pick up. You could just pick up, and like I'm like, yep, that's exactly, because I don't like to talk to my friends, but then I like to pick up. Yeah, because he's a Virgo too.
I'm not gonna lie, when I dated a Virgo, we like had such a great relationship. It just ended up not working out. We grew apart, but
it's fun.
We never fought. We're just like, same page, same wavelength. Like, I would say disagreements, but we never really.
That's nice.
But yeah, so I'm like I'm a big lover boy. You know, and so I'm like to take it slow. I'm thoughtful, like, but then sometimes it backfires and they fall in love with me before I'm there yet, because I'm like, I need a couple months to know if I'm in love, and they're like, it's been 3 weeks. Are you ready to commit? And I'm like, I don't know yet. So that sometimes
When did you get diagnosed as demisexual?
I don't think it's a thing.
But or like when did you hear or like diagnose yourself or like find out about it?
I think I just saw it one day on Instagram. I was like, oh, this might be me. But I'd just been like, even when I tried to have one night stands, I like just like ran away, like just couldn't do it.
Same. I got like, I don't want to say made fun of, but like every time I had a one night stand, there would always be a comment. Like one was like, why were you so willing to give yourself to me so early? Which I was like, what? The other one was, that was very mechanical. Like I've gotten that was very mechanical like twice, like paraphrased.
No way.
And I really was like, you're right. Like I am going through the motions of trying to have a one night stand. And I always felt very defunct for not having it be for me. But I feel really safe in this camaraderie now that like there are people like us and that's okay.
Yeah. And I think that's great. Like people are always like, well, you've never had a one night stand. That's so weird. And I was like, is it? Is it?
Yeah,
is
like
it
the people that we're fucking will know that we actually like them. That's so weird.
So awful of us.
Yeah. I think no, he could have a lot of casual sex too, but I used to ask him, I was like, did you like just not like me? And he's like, we were having sex. Like I had to have liked you.
Yeah, right? Maybe that's just us. Maybe it's a Virgo thing. I don't know. We'll have to unpack that later.
Yeah, we can unpack it all later. How about, do you remember the first time you ever gave an orgasm to someone? No,
Maybe?
the answer is no.
Not really. Not really. I feel like I remember the ones that were like really impactful. I think like my first girlfriend, 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Don't remember. But yeah, I love it. That's very my masculine. I'm like, whoa, I'm like, that's the lion, like, yeah, I got you. And because I'm a lover, I'm so in tune and I already like you. So it's like, I want to take my time, every inch of you. Like by the time I get there, you're already ready to come. That's the vibe.
Raia. Are the DMs open?
The DMs are open, but I'm looking for a wife.
Okay. Ladies, come correct.
Come correct. Come correct.
Come correct.
That's like your new podcast.
Honestly.
Come correct.
I would love that to be the next one, but if I've learned anything, it's don't put come in a title of something you'd like to advertise. Never again.
I love you. I can only imagine the ups and downs with that. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I love, though, that you classify wanting to get someone off as leaning into your masculine, because I think so many times we think of a masculine energy in sex is the penis. It's,
and the taking.
And the taking. And that without, there's no penis in the room or whatever. This is a masculine energy that just wants to get you off and gets power out of that.
Yeah.
Like that's the power I want to see.
Yeah. I love that. I love that I can do that for you, make you feel good as a giver, as a helper, as a lover. Obviously, I love making people feel good, right? So I'm more of a giver than receiver to an extent, for sure. And it's like, to understand a woman is to know that, I think I heard this quote once in grade 10 or 11. It just like was like my mantra. It was like, kiss her mind and her body will follow. And I was like,
it's true.
Done. Yeah.
Just pay attention to us.
Right? Be thoughtful.
I'll flood your room. Things. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's also part of foreplay and intimacy too. It's not just kissing, and it could be texting, calls, remembering things, supporting her, holding space, talking about your feelings rather than et cetera, et cetera. Like, there's so many things that also can be intimacy. And for women, or people who identify as women, I think there's a lot of it of making the mind has to be just as involved as the heart, or the mind and the vagina have to be connected so that they can come. I think that is the same for people who identify as men too. I've had so many men tell me, I can't get out of my head, so I can't come.
Yeah.
So I think the head and heart and body part, genitals of some kind, have to be connected. At least 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then
If
3
they're
out of
not,
3 is the
that's
magic.
weird. Like you don't want like when a gecko loses its tail and it goes in one direction, like your body's fucking, but your head is somewhere else. Like that doesn't sound fun. Like the whole.
Man, that visual just rocked me, took me out.
Happened in our family. We had geckos.
Oh, wow. I was not ready for that.
Yeah. Their tails grow back too, FYI.
Oh, wow. You learn something new every day.
You really do.
You really do.
I'm still pushing for a animal sex episode. Yeah.
I could see you pushing for that.
Yeah. I guess there's no pushing anymore, but it was like when Charlotte, my sister, was still working with us, I'd be like, every week I'd be like, let's do fucking animal sex. And she'd be like, can you stop?
Yeah. She's like, oh.
She's like, nobody wants to hear about the fucking screw duck penis. I'm like, I think they do.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to circle back on that one. I'm not sure where I stand with that one. I support you. Just not sure how I feel about it. Yeah. Okay.
See, and that's why Raia is a great life coach. It's like, I don't know if I feel this for me, but if that's your dream, go do your dream.
Supporting everyone's dreams. That's it.
Have there ever been any dreams in coaching that you've been like, oh no?
A little. But if I ask the right questions, I can support them, steering them in what they actually know is best for them. Because usually those ones are like way over here.
Mm-hmm.
And even deep down, every person knows to an extent internally, innately, what it is they actually want. It just takes some digging.
And is there an ethics component as well? Like, it's like, yeah, they're thinking about what's good for them, but are you also in the back of your mind thinking about what's good for society?
I mean, to an extent, usually I haven't had anything come up where that could be impacted. And in our contracts and our agreements, it's like, I can't break confidentiality unless they were to talk about harming themselves or someone else.
Yeah.
So I think there's always that, but there's always a back in my mind, like I'm holding space and holding you accountable for what it is that you said you want most for yourself. And if that dream starts to steer, then I can help bring them back. Yeah.
And just offering that space is probably eliminating the problems a little bit. You know, like if somebody has someone to talk to and to vent to, they might just do that instead of, I don't know, something
100%.
else. I do want to make sure that we said this for people who haven't had to ask too much. Is there a right way to ask for someone's pronouns?
That's a great question. And there's been some pros and cons on both sides of the case, I guess you could say. For me, I like it when people have asked because it allows me to share and ensure that they understand who I am. Others don't agree with that necessarily being asked because it can be sort of an invasion of privacy, and specifically the word preferred. People don't, the word preferred pronouns. So removing that. So I would say that's the number one thing to not do is say, what are your preferred pronouns? Because
that's like a microaggression. That's
right. So that can be a danger, like a not a safe one. So I would say advise against that one. And I would always say, whenever it comes to being vulnerable in some way, offer yours up first. If you want to be vulnerable, then you be vulnerable. So about that with me, I'd be like, my pronouns are she and her. I want to make sure that I address you in the way that's best for you. And then that gives that person the choice to respond in some way. But now I've set the tone. I've created the safe space. We feeling warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. It's nice. I mean, it's way, way nicer than, are you a boy or a girl?
Geez, I'm so happy that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And, I think at a level of self-love and self-care, being able to be true to who I am and align with my values and honor myself consistently allowed me to consistently be more able to show up as myself more often.
Yeah.
It always stems to here. I always ask my clients, what is within your control? And then boom, 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 bring it right here.
You guys, that's a great question to ask yourself this week. What's within your control?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Raia, this has been so much fun, and I'm sure people might have questions for you. Would you be willing to come back for a little Patreon extras if they've got some
Hell
questions?
yeah, we're 10-year friendship. You got anything you need.
Okay, cool.
Got you.
Thank you.
And I love that you're creating the safe spaces to have these conversations. So people have questions, let's support them.
Thank you. Yeah, no, mine started totally selfishly, but
They got you.
it's helpful. Raia, where can everybody find you online? Maybe enlist in some coaching. Who knows?
For sure. So at coach.carey, COACHCA or .CAREY. Also got my website and all my info is there. So Instagram is usually the easiest.
Awesome. I have to
I'm
ask
sure you'll
you
post
this.
it.
I will. Yeah, it's down below in all the links. And
There it
hey,
is.
follow us too. How Come Podcast and Remy Casimir. Raia, I have to ask you this question. I have to ask everybody after a sexual experience, which this has been. Raia, Carey, did you finish?
No, but I'm satisfied.
Oh, okay. Well, I finished, you guys. So someone came away happy.
I love
Raia, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it and proud of you and just love everything you've been doing. So please keep shining, keep doing it.
Proud of you too.
Thank you, darling.
Obsessed with our Virgo energy forever and ever.
Forever and ever.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna just